If you promise not to judge, I'm going to open up this cupboard. What? It's a hot mess in there. How do you get anything without knocking something else over? Today, we're going to try out the spice spinner. Hopefully, it'll take our mess and organize it. Here's our spice spinner that was purchased for around $20 from our local As Seen on TV retailer. I do like that it can hold up to 40 spices or condiments and it keeps everything organized. I primarily purchased this for my cabinet, but it's interesting to see the refrigerator has an application, bathrooms, even craft tables. Let's do a quick unboxing. All right, unboxed, we have the upper platform. We have the spice spinner, and this part really just spins. That's cool. We have the base pillar and then an inner pillar. Of course, we also have the directions. My first impression looking at this, it seems like it's made out of pretty cheap plastic. It looks as though this is adjustable. You actually take the inner pillar, push down on this little plastic piece and slide it into the base pillar so you can actually raise and lower it. I like that. Also, the bottom of the spice spinner part actually has almost like a rubber foot on the bottom to help it grip. To start the install, you take your base pillar and you stick it inside of the spice spinner. There's a hole at the bottom here which corresponds with this part, so you just snap it in place. Takes a little effort, but it goes in. Do all three of those, and then we're going to do the inner pillars onto the upper platform. So this looks weird. On the upper platform, you actually have an indentation. It looks like it should fit the inner pillar, like I can slide it in there, but that wouldn't make any sense. The directions actually tell you to install it from the bottom, but this is not recessed, so, well, we'll just keep moving along. So just pop these in place. Now that our pillars are installed, we're supposed to just align them all up on all three, set them in place, and then adjust them to your desired height. Make sure they click in. So I've already noted a problem here. This little tab, which is supposed to click right into one of these holes, it seems like it is recessed in. So if I push this here, I can get this angle, and line it up, it does not click into place, it just goes by them. So I'm gonna end up using a screwdriver to see if I can pry this plastic out any without breaking it. But that to me is a weak point to this whole system. Just like that, we are all set in place. I can spin here, I can spin the middle part right there. I've got stuff on my upper rack. Oh, well, my piece just fell forward. I gotta find another way to hold that in place. I think this is more of a quality control issue with manufacturing. If you look at these two, there's definitely a more pronounced nub there compared to this one. Now, I have been bending the plastic up thinking that was the issue, but when I took a closer look, well, look, there's like nothing there. For the purpose of this test, I just lowered it to its lowest setting. I think that'll actually be fine for me, therefore it's all balanced in. I will say, like I thought before, this is pretty cheap and wobbly, and I just worry about its stability over time. Before we go much further, if you're new here, my name is Jeff, and this is Jeff Reviews for You. I review a whole lot of products. I specialize in reviewing as seen on TV items. Every once in a while, I do a little bit of a DIY just because I like to. If that aligns with something that you're looking for on the internet, I would love it if you would subscribe to my channel and click the bell below. That way you're notified every time I release a video just like this one. One more thing, don't forget to check down the description for my social media. Instagram and Twitter, I would love it if you would follow me there too. Now let's get right back to reviewing the spice spinner and the Stow-n-Spin to see if they're any good. All right, so here is our cabinet cleaned out. I should say that this cabinet measures across 22 inches. It's 10.5 inches deep and 13 inches tall. I do like that I could have the spice spinner in here and have space on either side still, or I could put this all the way to one side or the other if I wanted bigger items. What I have here is I have about a 5-inch span here just due to my limitations of the inner pillar, and I have about 7 inches that I can fit on top there. Let's start loading this thing up. With the exception of my empty cinnamon bottle, which I don't really know why I was saving, I was able to fit everything back in here, but it looks a whole lot better. Now let's see how accessible things are. So all I do is spin things around and, well, get to select any of the different spices that I need. I don't know if you're watching this, but it definitely wobbles. So in my opinion, the heavier stuff should be on the bottom and the lighter stuff should be on top, but I can't do that right now. I may end up going to get another one just to test it out. Look at that wobble. I guess it takes cleaning out your cupboard to realize how much salt you actually do have. I have these three here, plus I have 3 different peppers. I didn't realize I even had all of these spices. Plus, I do like this part in the middle. I can hold these taller bottles, and of course, I didn't have enough room for these ones, but they fit fine. Therefore, they're organized and in their place. As far as the overall design goes, I like that it's 2 layers. I like that you could spin it back and forth. I even like that this inner one has a spinning mechanism all in of itself. I just wish the materials were a little stronger and makes me feel a lot less nervous. That, to me, I feel is going to break over time. So, tell me, what is your thought of these spinning devices for cabinets, bathrooms, or whatnot? Have you used one before? Would you consider it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. I would love to hear from you. I've been using the spice spinner for over a week now, and I really like that this is organized and the spices are very accessible. However, as I've said in this video so far, it's definitely leaning, and that worries me. So I went out and bought another one, and this one is not defective. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set this in here, and I'm gonna put the heavy items on the bottom, hoping that the top shelf won't be as, I don't know, wobbly. Here we have our new spice spinner set in place, and I have this set on the highest point where it fits into the first hole. So first thing I notice is this is a whole lot more difficult to spin than the other one, and that was even without anything. So this spinner might not be as good. I should say that right now I have 34 items on this, and I guess that falls right within the up to 40 item limit. Then again, if you look around towards this side, there is some space here to the front or back that I could definitely slide some more things in. Even though I think having the heavier things on the bottom is helpful, I think this is still way too wobbly. I've said a number of times in this video that I really love the concept of the spice spinner. It's convenient, it's organized, I like that I can just spin things. My biggest complaint is the stability. So you know what? I think I'm gonna look to see if I can find something similar that might be more stable. A simple Amazon search reveals the Stow-n-Spin. It looks almost identical to the spice spinner. I should say that this one retailed for about $37, so it's a bit more than the spice spinner, but what I like about it is it has 4 legs. It has 2 in the front, and then 2 in the back to hold it solid. The plastic feels like it's the same cheap plastic, but look at this. It actually has some sort of protective cover over every single part here where your items would go. Let's assemble the Stow-n-Spin. Did I mention that the Stow-n-Spin is made right here in the United States? So what you do is you put the leg extensions here and then line them up at the hole, and then there is a screw to tie it in on the other end. I'm gonna start screwing these in. Is the Stow-n-Spin completely set up? So it does look a whole lot more stable than the spice spinner, and check this out. It spins a lot better as well. The manufacturer recommends that you use just a handheld screwdriver to put the screws in. Do not use a power drill, as you can strip out the space or just crack the legs. You don't want to do that. Also, since these legs are stationary, you only have about a 5.5 inch space between the lower tray and the upper tray, and you cannot move that. So all of your taller things will have to go on top. Even though I like that the Stow-n-Spin has these 4 legs, I wish it was made up of more heavy-duty material, because this does flex. That worries me about this unit. But let's go put it to the test and install it into our cabinet and set up all of our things on it. Here is the Stow-n-Spin set in place. Check this out. Look at the ease of which that thing spins. It is super awesome. I should say that I fit all of the items that were on the spice spinner plus about 4 extras, and I do have other room. The only problem is if I put them in those spots, I wouldn't be able to see them. As you can see, you know what? It does have a little wobble if you push on it. I was a little more strategic here where I put the heavy items right above a leg, and I can do that because there are 2 legs here in the back, and I think this one will last a whole lot longer than the spice spinner. Here I have the spice spinner head-to-head with the Stow-n-Spin. I have the spice spinner set at the 5.5 inch mark because that's the exact same size as the Stow-n-Spin. So let's talk about their differences. First notable difference is the spice spinner is adjustable. So like I told you before, this is at the 5.5 inch mark. So you can go as low as 5 inches and as high as 6.5 inches, whereas the Stow-n-Spin is just stationary at 5.5 inches, the space between the lower tray and the upper tray. If we run a measurement from one side to the other, the spice spinner measures in at 12 inches, whereas the Stow-n-Spin measures in at 13 inches. If we take the measurement from the front to the back on the spice spinner, it's 10.5 inches, whereas the Stow-n-Spin is 11 inches. With this 11-inch measurement, you ask yourself, well, does that Stow-n-Spin still fit inside my cabinet? Well, you saw it did, and I'm going to show you why. The company that built this Stow-n-Spin actually made a flat front, and this flat front here actually comes up to the lip of your cabinet, therefore giving you the space that you need to fit in perfectly. In this video, we were taking a look at the Spice Spinner, an As Seen on TV product, and also the Spin-n-Stow. Not an As Seen on TV product, but definitely a similar product. So what did I think of it? Well, first things first, there is a price difference, about $17 between the two. The Spice Spinner is $20, and the Stow-n-Spin is about $37. So just know that. In my opinion, that's a pretty big margin, right? It's almost twice the price. So you have to look, is it even worth it to pay the extra $17? So in my opinion, it absolutely is. I like the spinning mechanism. It spins a whole lot easier. I love that it has the 4 posts. It is a lot stronger and you can hold more things without it bending. I also like how the Stow-n-Spin comes with that anti-slip grip mat right on it, which is very convenient so your items do not fall off. In the end, they both are pretty convenient products. The Spice Spinner does a great job holding things. My worry over time is, man, because it only has one leg in the back, it's just gonna snap and break, and that's gonna be horrible. Whereas the Stow-n-Spin, I think that's gonna hold up a lot longer. If either of these are things that interest you, I will leave a link down in the description. This is Jeff with Jeff Reviews for You. As always, thanks for stopping by, and I hope you have a great day. Of course, an easy difference to spot is the Stow-n-Spin came with these grip pads that go along with it, which really help the items not slip or slide when you're using it, which I think is really beneficial. I really do appreciate that you stayed around for my entire review where I compared the Spice Spinner to the Stow-n-Spin. You know what? Not that long ago, I actually reviewed another kitchen appliance, and that would be the Nutri-Slicer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to link that review right up here, and I would love it if you would click on this link. And when you do, by the magic of the internet, I'm going to join you at this review. So go ahead, click it. It's safe, I promise.